Welcome to the Hidden Wealth Coins. Hidden inside old jars, dusty drawers, and forgotten coin collections could be a wheat penny with a life-changing fortune. These tiny 1-cent coins from the 1940s and 1950s may look ordinary, worn, and nearly worthless, but certain rare examples have shocked collectors by selling for unbelievable amounts of money. Some carry rare mint errors, while others survive in almost perfect condition for decades. A single penny once used to buy candy could now be worth thousands, even hundreds of thousands of dollars. Before you spend or ignore another old wheat penny, check the date carefully, because one rare coin could completely transform your future overnight and turn pocket change into treasure. First up, the year 1944 was one of the most important moments in American coin history, and hidden among billions of ordinary coins was a mistake so rare that collectors still chase it with obsession today. Most people think a 1-cent coin is nearly worthless, something dropped into drawers, lost in couches, or forgotten in old jars. But a single 1944 wheat penny has shocked the collecting world by reaching unbelievable values because of a rare wartime minting error that transformed an everyday coin into a legendary treasure. Some experts consider it one of the greatest accidental coins ever created by the United States Mint, and if one appears in the right condition, its value can explode into hundreds of thousands or even over $1 million in private sales and elite auctions. To understand why the 1944 wheat penny became so important, you first need to understand the chaos of World War II. During the war, copper was urgently needed for military equipment, ammunition, communication wiring, and battlefield machinery. In 1943, the United States Mint stopped making normal bronze pennies and switched to zinc-coated steel cents to conserve copper for the war effort. Those steel pennies looked silver instead of brown, and millions entered circulation across America. But when 1944 arrived, the Mint returned to copper-based bronze pennies because recycled wartime shell casings became available. That transition created one of the rarest mistakes in American history when a few leftover steel blanks from 1943 accidentally remained inside the coin presses and was struck with the 1944 design. That accidental error changed everything forever. A real 1944 steel wheat penny is considered a miracle find because almost all 1944 pennies were supposed to be made from bronze. The appearance alone confuses people because the coin looks silver instead of the usual copper color. Many collectors ignored them for decades, believing they were fake, altered, or damaged coins. But authenticated examples stunned the numismatic world when grading companies confirmed they were genuine mint errors created during the wartime transition. Suddenly, an ordinary 1-cent coin became a national headline among coin hunters and treasure seekers. The value of the 1944 steel wheat penny depends heavily on condition, mint mark, and authenticity. A heavily worn example may still command tens of thousands of dollars because of its rarity alone. Cleaner examples with strong details can rise into the six-figure range almost instantly at auction. The finest known specimens have reportedly sold for enormous prices because elite collectors compete aggressively to own a piece of wartime American history. The coin is not valuable because it contains precious metal. It is valuable because almost none should exist. That combination of historical timing, mint era, and extreme rarity created a perfect storm that turned forgotten cent into a collector's dream. One of the most famous versions is the 1944 steel wheat penny struck at the San Francisco Mint. Experts believe only a tiny number survived, making it one of the rarest Lincoln cents ever discovered. When examples from San Francisco appear in certified condition, the coin community pays immediate attention because opportunities to buy one are incredibly rare. Even damaged examples create excitement. The same is true for the 1944 D steel cent from the Denver Mint, another legendary rarity with only a few confirmed specimens known to exist. These coins are so rare that many collectors spend their entire lives searching without ever seeing one in person. The design of the wheat penny itself also adds emotional value to the story. On the front is Abraham Lincoln, whose portrait first appeared on the cent in 1909. On the reverse are two wheat stalks surrounding the word 1 cent and United States America. For decades, Americans carried these coins through wars, economic hardship, and historic change. The wheat penny became more than money. It became part of daily American life. That emotional connection makes rare versions even more desirable because collectors feel they are holding living history in their hands. Many people still search through old jars, inherited coin collections, and dusty boxes hoping to uncover one of these treasures. Stories continue to spread about rare coins discovered in old piggy banks, estate sales, flea markets, and forgotten family collections. Some coins look dirty, scratched, and nearly worthless until experts examine them closely. A genuine 1944 steel cent can sometimes appear dark gray or worn from decades of circulation, which is why many valuable examples may have been overlooked for years. That possibility keeps treasure hunters searching because the next life-changing discovery could still be hiding in plain sight. Authentication is extremely important because counterfeit versions are everywhere. Some people plate ordinary copper pennies with steel coloring to imitate the rare coin, while others alter dates from 1943 steel cents to resemble 1944 coins. Serious collectors rely on professional grading services to confirm authenticity and condition. A real steel 1944 wheat penny should react to a magnet because steel is magnetic, while normal bronze 1944 pennies are not. Even so, magnet tests alone are not enough because fake coins can also stick to magnets. True authentication requires expert examination of weight, strike quality, surface texture, and mint characteristics. Condition plays a massive role in determining value. Coins with sharp details, strong lettering, and minimal damage command the highest prices because collectors compete for the finest surviving examples. A coin graded mint state can sell for dramatically more than a worn, circulated version. Tiny differences in luster, scratches, and strike strength can change a coin's value by tens of thousands of dollars. In elite coin auctions, wealthy buyers sometimes battle fiercely for top-grade examples because ownership brings prestige as well as investment potential. Second up, the year 1946 marked a powerful turning point in American history. World War II had finally ended, soldiers were returning home, industries were rebuilding, and the United States Mint resumed normal coin production after years of wartime pressure. During that moment of recovery, millions of 1946 wheat pennies entered circulation across America. Most people spent them without a second thought, tossing them into cash registers, jars, and pockets. But hidden among those ordinary bronze cents were a few extraordinary pieces that would later become some of the most desired wheat pennies in the collecting world. Today, certain rare 1946 pennies in exceptional condition or with unusual minting errors are worth astonishing amounts of money, transforming a simple 1-cent coin into a treasure capable of changing someone's life overnight. The 1946 wheat penny carries enormous historical importance because it represents the first full year of American coin production after the war ended. Factories that once produced military equipment returned to civilian use, and the nation entered a new era filled with hope, rebuilding, and economic growth. That emotional connection adds deep value to the coin, because collectors are not just buying metal. They are holding a surviving piece of post-war American history. Every scratch, every faded edge, and every worn surface reflects decades of travel through stores, banks, homes, and countless hands across generations. The design of the coin remained classic and instantly recognizable. On the front appears Abraham Lincoln, whose portrait had already become one of the most iconic images in American coinage. On the reverse are 2 wheat stalks framing the words 1 cent and United States of America. That wheat design gave the coin its famous nickname, the Wheat Penny. For many Americans, these coins represented daily life itself. Children carried them to candy shops, workers received them in change, and families stored them away during uncertain times. Because of that emotional connection, rare versions today attract intense attention from collectors around the world. Most ordinary 1946 wheat pennies are still common, but a tiny number became legendary because of condition, rarity, and minting mistakes. Coins struck with strong detail, glowing original surfaces, and almost nowhere are considered extremely desirable. Collectors especially hunt for examples with bright red luster because copper coins naturally darken over time. Finding a 1946 wheat penny that still looks fresh from the mint after surviving nearly 80 years is incredibly difficult. That rarity causes prices to rise dramatically, especially when grading companies certify the coin in elite mint state condition. One of the biggest reasons some 1946 wheat pennies became so valuable is the existence of rare mint errors. During the minting process, machines occasionally created dramatic mistakes that escaped into circulation unnoticed. Some coins were struck off-center, leaving part of the design missing. Others showed doubled lettering where the text appeared slightly repeated because of die movement during production. Certain examples developed die cracks, clipped edges, or unusual surfaces that transformed an ordinary penny into a collectible rarity. These errors fascinate collectors because they reveal imperfections inside the powerful machinery of the United States Mint. The 1946 Wheat Penny from the San Francisco Mint is particularly respected among collectors when found in outstanding condition. Although millions were produced, very few survive with sharp details and original mint brilliance. Many entered circulation immediately after production and suffered decades of wear. As a result, top-quality survivors became incredibly difficult to obtain. Wealthy collectors compete fiercely for the finest examples because population numbers shrink dramatically in higher grades. A coin that once bought almost nothing can suddenly become worth thousands simply because of its preservation and rarity. The Denver Mint also produced 1946 Wheat Pennies, and some of these coins became famous for unusually strong strikes and beautiful color. Coins with blazing red surfaces often command impressive prices because they appear almost untouched by time. Collectors sometimes spend years searching for a perfect example with smooth fields, crisp lettering, and rich natural shine. When one appears at auction, bidding wars can erupt as collectors try to secure one of the best surviving pieces from that historic year. One reason the Wheat Penny series remains so popular is because valuable discoveries still happen unexpectedly. People continue finding rare coins hidden inside inherited collections, old coffee cans, attic boxes, and forgotten piggy banks. Some valuable pennies look dirty and worthless a decade before experts recognize their importance. That possibility fuels excitement throughout the coin collecting community because treasure can still be hiding in everyday places. A single overlooked penny mixed with ordinary change might secretly carry enormous value if it has the right date, mint mark, condition, or mint era. The condition of a 1946 Wheat Penny is one of the most important factors affecting value. Coins heavily worn from circulation may still hold collector interest, but pristine examples command far higher prices. Even tiny details matter. A small scratch, dull surface, or weak strike can reduce value significantly, while strong luster and sharp details can multiply prices dramatically. Professional grading companies carefully examine every part of the coin under magnification before assigning official grades that influence market demand. Some collectors are especially fascinated by red designation coins. Copper naturally changes color as it ages, often turning brown after decades of exposure. But a small number of 1946 Wheat Pennies retain their original bright reddish-orange glow from the mint. These coins are considered extremely desirable because preserving that color for nearly 80 years is remarkably rare. In elite grades, such examples can sell for extraordinary amounts at major auctions, especially when combined with strong strike quality and flawless surfaces. Third up, the 1952 Wheat Penny may look like a simple old 1-cent coin, but hidden behind its faded copper surface is a story that has captured the attention of collectors for decades. Millions of these coins were produced during a booming period in American history, yet a tiny number survived in such extraordinary condition or with such unusual minting mistakes that they became incredibly valuable. What most people see as spare change, serious collectors sometimes view as a hidden treasure capable of bringing astonishing money at auction. Some rare examples of the 1952 Wheat Penny have shocked the collecting world with prices that climb far beyond what anyone would expect from a single cent. During the early 1950s, America was entering a powerful era of economic growth. Factories were expanding, families were building new lives, and coins flowed constantly through stores, banks, restaurants, and homes. The Wheat Penny remained one of the most recognized coins in circulation, and people carried them everywhere without imagining that certain examples would someday become collector legends. Most 1952 pennies were spent immediately and heavily used for decades, which is why finding exceptional survivors today has become surprisingly difficult. That rarity is one of the biggest reasons collectors pay enormous amounts for the finest examples. The design of the 1952 Wheat Penny carried a strong connection to American identity. On the front was Abraham Lincoln, whose portrait symbolized strength, unity, and national history. On the reverse appeared the famous wheat stalk design that gave the coin its nickname. That design had already become iconic by the 1950s because generations of Americans grew up seeing wheat pennies every single day. The coin represented ordinary life itself, passing through the hands of workers, shopkeepers, soldiers, and children across the country. Although billions of wheat pennies were produced over the years, collectors quickly learned that not all coins are equal. Some 1952 pennies were struck with sharper details, cleaner surfaces, and stronger luster than others. A small number escaped circulation entirely and remained preserved for decades inside rolls, collections, or forgotten storage boxes. These untouched examples became extremely valuable because copper coins are delicate and easily damaged over time. Once scratches, wear, or discoloration appear, value can drop dramatically. That is why perfectly preserved examples command such intense interest today. The most valuable 1952 wheat pennies are often those graded in extremely high mint state condition. Coins with bright original red color are especially important because copper naturally darkens as it ages. A coin that still glows with its original reddish-orange mint luster after more than 70 years is considered a remarkable survivor. Collectors compete aggressively for these red examples because they represent the closest possible appearance to how the coin looked when it first left the United States Mint. Some elite quality pieces have sold for extraordinary amounts simply because so few exist in such pristine condition. The 1952 D Wheat Penny from the Denver Mint is particularly respected among collectors. While many circulated heavily and became worn, a tiny number survived with exceptional strike quality and blazing original color. These rare high-grade examples are difficult to locate because most Denver coins from that era were used extensively in commerce. When a beautifully preserved 1952 D appears at auction, serious buyers often battle fiercely to secure ownership. The difference between an average circulated coin and a nearly flawless mint state example can mean the difference between a few cents and thousands of dollars. Another fascinating part of the 1952 wheat penny story involves mint errors. During production, machinery sometimes malfunctioned or shifted slightly, creating unusual coins that escaped into circulation unnoticed. Some examples displayed doubled lettering, while others were struck off-center or developed dramatic die cracks. These mint mistakes transformed ordinary pennies into collectible rarities because no two errors were exactly alike. Collectors love these coins because they reveal the hidden imperfections of the minting process and create one-of-a-kind historical artifacts. One reason wheat pennies continue attracting worldwide fascination is because valuable discoveries still happen unexpectedly. People have found rare coins hidden inside inherited collections, old drawers, attic boxes, and dusty jars forgotten for decades. Many valuable coins look dirty and ordinary before experts recognize their importance. That possibility fuels excitement because treasure hunters know that life-changing discoveries can still occur in everyday places. A single overlooked penny mixed among common coins could secretly be worth a fortune under the right circumstances. Condition remains one of the most powerful factors influencing value. Coins with sharp details in Lincoln's hair, clean wheat stalk lines, and smooth untouched surfaces command the highest prices. Even tiny imperfections matter. Small scratches, discoloration, or weak strikes can reduce value dramatically, while flawless examples become collector prizes. Professional grading companies carefully inspect coins under magnification before assigning official grades that determine market demand. A 1-point increase in grade can sometimes raise value by thousands of dollars. The emotional connection behind the 1952 wheat penny also adds to its appeal. These coins survived through decades of American history, witnessing changing generations, economic expansion, and social transformation. Every coin carries evidence of its journey through time. Some traveled through countless cash registers and pockets, while others remained hidden away untouched for decades. Collectors are not only buying metal, they are purchasing a surviving piece of history that reflects the daily lives of ordinary people from another era. Fourth up, the 1956 wheat penny is one of those coins that many people ignored for decades without realizing the incredible stories and hidden value connected to it. At first glance, it looks like nothing more than an ordinary old copper cent, worn down by time and forgotten inside jars, drawers, and dusty collections. But for serious collectors, certain 1956 wheat pennies are considered extraordinary treasures because of their rarity, condition, and mysterious minting variations. Some examples have reached astonishing prices in the coin market, turning a simple 1-cent coin into something people dream about discovering. What once bought almost nothing can now attract enormous attention from collectors willing to spend thousands for the right coin. The year 1956 belonged to a rapidly changing America. The nation was expanding economically, suburbs were growing, factories were busy, and millions of coins moved constantly through daily commerce. Wheat pennies remained part of everyday life, passing from hand to hand in grocery stores, restaurants, gas stations, and movie theaters. Nobody imagined that decades later, collectors would carefully study these coins under magnification, searching for rare details worth fortunes. Most 1956 pennies circulated heavily and became worn over time, which is exactly why pristine survivors became so valuable in the modern collecting world. The design of the wheat penny carried deep emotional meaning for Americans. On the front stood Abraham Lincoln, one of the most respected figures in American history. His portrait had appeared on the cent since 1909 and became a symbol of national identity and resilience. On the reverse were two elegant wheat stalks surrounding the words 1 cent and United States of America. That classic design gave the coin its famous name and helped make the wheat penny one of the most beloved coins ever produced by the United States Mint. Although millions of 1956 wheat pennies were struck, collectors quickly learned that condition changes everything. Most surviving examples are dark, scratched, faded, or heavily worn from decades of circulation. But a tiny number escaped damage and remained almost untouched. These extraordinary survivors became highly valuable because preserving a copper coin for over 70 years without major wear is incredibly difficult. Coined with smooth surfaces, sharp details, and strong original color can command astonishing prices because collectors know how rare they truly are. One of the most respected versions is the 1956 wheat penny from the Denver Mint. Large numbers were produced, but finding one in elite mint state condition with brilliant red surfaces is remarkably challenging. Many Denver coins entered circulation immediately and lost their original appearance over time. The finest known examples today are treated almost like museum pieces because they appear nearly identical to how they looked when they first left the minting presses in 1956. Wealthy collectors compete aggressively for these coins because population numbers shrink dramatically at the highest grades. Color plays an enormous role in determining value. Copper naturally darkens and changes over time, often turning brown after decades of exposure to air and handling. But a few rare 1956 wheat pennies retain their original glowing reddish-orange luster. These are known among collectors as red examples, and they are especially prized because preserving that fresh mint appearance for generations is extremely difficult. In top condition, such coins can sell for incredible amounts because they combine rarity, beauty, and historical survival all in one piece. Mint eras also transformed certain 1956 wheat pennies into collector legends. During production, machinery occasionally shifted or malfunctioned, creating coins with unusual features. Some displayed doubled lettering, while others were struck slightly off-center or developed dramatic die cracks. These mistakes fascinate collectors because they reveal the hidden imperfections behind the massive production process of a United States Mint. Instead of destroying those flawed coins, a few escaped into circulation unnoticed and later became valuable treasures sought by collectors around the world. Many people are shocked to learn that valuable wheat pennies are still discovered today. Rare coins continue appearing in inherited collections, forgotten piggy banks, antique shops, and old rolls of pennies stored away decades ago. Some of the most valuable finds look dirty and ordinary before experts examine them carefully. That possibility keeps excitement alive because collectors know that hidden treasures can still exist in everyday places. One overlooked penny mixed among common coins might secretly hold extraordinary value if it possesses the right combination of condition, mint mark, and rarity. The emotional connection behind the 1956 wheat penny also adds tremendous appeal. These coins traveled through one of the most fascinating periods in American history. They were used during an era of booming businesses, expanding cities, classic automobiles, and rapidly changing culture. Every surviving coin carries traces of that journey. Some passed through countless pockets and cash registers, while others remained hidden away untouched for decades. Holding one today feels like holding a small surviving piece of mid-century America. Condition grading became extremely important as the coin market grew more competitive. Professional grading companies now examine coins carefully under magnification, studying every detail from strike quality to surface preservation. Even tiny scratches or faint discoloration can affect value dramatically. A 1-point increase in grade may raise a price by thousands of dollars because top-grade examples are so rare. Collectors understand that truly flawless wheat pennies are exceptionally difficult to find after decades of survival. Counterfeit coins and altered pieces also exist, especially when valuable dates and conditions are involved. Some individuals attempt to clean coins artificially or change appearances to make ordinary pennies look more desirable. Serious collectors avoid these risks by purchasing professionally certified coins authenticated by trusted grading services. A genuine high-grade 1956 wheat penny with original surfaces attracts strong demand because buyers know authentic untouched examples are becoming harder to locate each year. Fifth up, the 1953 wheat penny is one of those incredible American coins that many people ignored for years without realizing the hidden fortune it could represent. To most people, it looks like an ordinary old copper cent covered with age and wear. But in the world of rare coin collecting, certain 1953 wheat pennies are treated like treasures because of their condition, rarity, and mysterious minting imperfections. Some collectors spend years searching for the finest examples, and when one appears in exceptional quality, the value can rise to astonishing levels. A single penny once used to buy almost nothing can now become the center of intense auction battles and collector excitement. The early 1950s were a powerful period in American history. The country was expanding economically, cities were growing rapidly, and millions of coins flowed through stores, gas stations, restaurants, and family businesses every single day. The wheat penny remained one of the most recognized coins in circulation, passing through countless hands without anyone imagining that a few rare examples would someday become highly valuable collectibles. Most 1953 pennies experienced decades of heavy circulation, which explains why pristine survivors are so difficult to find today. The coin carried a design deeply connected to American identity. On the front was Abraham Lincoln, whose image had appeared on the cent since 1909. His portrait symbolized leadership, history, and national strength. On the reverse stood the famous wheat stalk design that gave the coin its legendary nickname, the Wheat Penny. For generations, Americans carried these coins in their pockets every day, making them part of ordinary life and family memories across the nation. Although millions of 1953 wheat pennies were produced, collectors eventually discovered that not all examples were equal. Most surviving coins became dark, scratched, faded, or heavily worn after years of circulation. But a tiny number escaped damage and remained in remarkable condition. These rare survivors became extremely valuable because preserving a copper coin for more than 70 years without major wear is incredibly difficult. Coins with glowing original surfaces and sharp details are now considered treasures in the numismatic world. The 1953 D wheat penny from the Denver Mint became especially popular among serious collectors. Many Denver coins circulated heavily, making top-grade examples unusually scarce. A beautifully preserved 1953 D with strong strike quality and blazing red color can command enormous attention whenever it appears at auction. Collectors know that finding one with smooth, untouched surfaces is remarkably difficult because copper is highly sensitive to scratches, fingerprints, and environmental damage. One of the most exciting aspects of the 1953 wheat penny involves mint errors. During production, minting machinery occasionally shifted, malfunctioned, or struck coins imperfectly. Some pennies displayed doubled lettering, where words and numbers appeared slightly duplicated. Others showed die cracks, clipped edges, or off-center strikes that created unusual appearances. Instead of being destroyed, a few of these error coins escaped into circulation unnoticed. Decades later, collectors recognize them as rare and valuable pieces of mint history. Color plays a massive role in determining value for wheat pennies. Copper naturally darkens as years pass, often turning deep brown from oxidation and handling. But some rare 1953 pennies retain their original reddish-orange glow from the day they were minted. These red examples are considered especially desirable because preserving that fresh mint appearance for generations is extremely uncommon. High-grade red coins with brilliant surfaces can sell for astonishing amounts because collectors compete aggressively for the finest surviving examples. The emotional power of the Wheat Penny series also contributes to its legendary reputation. These coins survived through decades of American history, witnessing economic growth, changing generations, and major cultural transformation. Every scratch and faded surface tells part of a story. Some coins traveled through countless stores and cash registers, while others remained hidden away untouched inside old jars and collections. Holding a 1953 wheat penny today feels like holding a small surviving artifact from a completely different era of American life. Many people still search through inherited coin collections, hoping to uncover a hidden treasure. Valuable wheat pennies continue appearing in attic boxes, old piggy banks, estate sales, and forgotten containers stored for decades. Some rare examples look dirty and worthless until experts examine them carefully. That possibility keeps excitement alive in the collecting world because treasure hunters know another extraordinary discovery could happen at any moment. A single overlooked penny mixed with ordinary change may secretly hold incredible value. Professional grading became extremely important as collector demand increased. Experts now examine coins carefully under magnification, studying every tiny detail from strike sharpness to surface preservation. Even a small scratch or slight discoloration can affect value dramatically. Coins graded at the highest mint state levels are exceptionally rare because so few survived in near-perfect condition. Sometimes a 1-point increase in grade can mean the difference between a modest collectible and a coin worth thousands of dollars. Counterfeit and altered coins also exist, which is why authentication matters so much. Some people artificially clean pennies or attempt to create fake mint errors to fool inexperienced buyers. Serious collectors rely on trusted grading companies to verify authenticity and originality. A genuine 1953 wheat penny with natural surfaces and elite preservation can attract enormous interest because authentic high-grade examples are becoming harder to locate every year. Auction houses help transform rare wheat pennies into international collector sensations. Whenever a top-quality 1953 example appears publicly, bidding competition can become intense. Wealthy collectors often pay extraordinary amounts because opportunities to purchase elite condition coins are so limited. The combination of rarity, beauty, and historical importance continues driving prices high as collectors seek the finest known survivors.